Hello and welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name is Katie, this is Winnie, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Something by Katie. Today is going to be fun. I'm doing a tag by another YouTuber named Angelica Nyqvist. She is much bigger than I am, but she did a fun tag about a month ago called the top 3 eyeshadow palettes in every category tag. So I followed her prompts and I'm really excited to dive into this tag because I love talking about eyeshadow palettes and I love eyeshadow palettes. I have quite a few. So I figured I would participate. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, don't forget to thumbs up this video, hit subscribe so that you see more videos from me because, like I said, I like makeup, I like colorful eyeshadows, and I have a lot of makeup. So follow along if you want, and let's dive into this fun tag. Alright, so the first category today is my top 3 neutral eyeshadow palettes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have as many neutral eyeshadow palettes as I thought I did. I have a lot of palettes that are really colorful and have a few neutral palettes thrown in there, but these that I'm gonna share are my truly toned down, trying to wear something neutral or warm tone in the browns and purple tone families and pinks. So the first palette here is the one and only. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, I'm sorry, but it's out of business. The Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1. I absolutely am so happy that I got this palette. This is one of those super viral, overhyped eyeshadow palettes, and it's one of the few that I'm like, oh yeah, this was worth the hype. I love the way it's arranged in these columns, and the rows are different formulas. Winnie. They're different formulas of the same colors. So you have your really basic browns and cream shades, and then a pop of orange and a pop of this berry tone shade, and of course, deepen it all up with the black. I love this eyeshadow palette, and I'm really glad that I got it. It's a really good formula too. I'm kind of bummed there'll never be a volume 2. We'll never get another palette with this formula, but I'm so glad I got that one. Another neutral palette that's probably surprising is that I love this Tartelette Juicy palette from Tarte. Earlier this year, I mean, I've had quite a year, but earlier this year I was like really going through it, and my now husband, then fiance, surprised me. One of my friends conspired with him and they bought me this, and I really love it. This is another palette that I like the arrangement. I like how the rows are all different vibes. I like this palette, how big the pans are, and it's Tarte, so they're very soft, and I can use this for a full face. I can use this for blush, bronzer, powder, highlighter, the whole thing. It's very versatile. This eye look I have on right now, I did not do with this eyeshadow palette, but in the video in which I filmed that look on my eyes here, it was a dupe the vibe of the new Smoke and Roses palette from Colourpop. I don't have that new palette, but I used the Sigma Enchanted palette on my eyes to dupe the vibe. And in that video, I mentioned this palette because this is a really great rosy tone neutral palette that's big, and I really like it. So, great palette. And finally, the ultimate neutral palette. If you like dramatic makeup and you're kind of like, on neutrals, or if you are the opposite and you're like, oh, I really want to try some indie brand eyeshadows, but they're all colorful and I want neutrals, this could maybe satisfy both parties. It's the Glamlite Chocolate Donut Palette. I've had this for a year at this point. Oh my gosh, what a fabulous, fabulous collection of shadows. These are some very special shimmer shades. For being browns, this is an interesting neutral palette because it isn't just the browns. First of all, this is a very stunning highlighter shade. It's super reflective, and I honestly don't like using it on my face. I don't feel pale enough for it or deep enough. I don't know, something about it's off, so I just use it on my eyes. But look at this white chocolate It's kind of got this like shift to it. The chocolate sprinkles has, look at that fiery shade. The Boston cream. That is so beautiful. Like, look how the shade marble here. Ooh, and let me, the chocolate glazed highlighter in the center. Look at that. Just look at these shades. This is a very interesting neutral palette with a few warm brown eyeshadow shades thrown in there. And as some bonus, because I know it's the top 3, but I did show a palette that's out of commission, like it's out of circulation, you can't buy it anymore. So these are my runners up, but they're definitely, those are the top 3 neutral palettes for me. But I really enjoy both the Going Coconuts palette from Colourpop and the Bare Necessities palette. The difference is, oops, I got those colorful shades, whatever, clean that up. But this is more compact, and this is everything you could possibly want. Depending on what you want, I recommend either, but these are really great neutral eyeshadow palettes as well. All right, we're on to the next category, which includes my top 3 rainbow / colorful eyeshadow palettes. Also, sorry, the door is open. My dog is freaking out, so I am leaving it open for her. Number 1. Oh my gosh, I love this. One of the mega palettes from Colourpop. It's the So Jaded, which was a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. I love this palette. It has a lot of neutrals in it, sure, some up there, but it also has some great textures and colors. I love this palette. It's so versatile. I still reach for it after all this time, and I really like it. This is also a palette where I don't really like that one, but this is a pretty good glitter shade, believe it or not. I liked using this in a couple of looks before. This is such a good palette. It's very versatile, and you get a lot of bang for your buck with these mega palettes from Colourpop. You get a lot of shades and they're not too expensive. The next favorite that I must include, oh my gosh, this is so good. The Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette. I absolutely love this palette. I really like that they just did normal rectangular packaging but did something fun on the front. There's a lovely mirror. These shades are, oh my gosh, absolutely spectacular. I love this eyeshadow palette. It's really, really versatile. There's even a potential and ability to do neutral looks with some of the brown shades, but there aren't too many of them. I really appreciate that. These mattes, these pastel matte shades, and these incredible shimmer metallics. Oh my gosh, this is a like one of a kind palette in my opinion. It's so good. Glamlite kills it. Absolutely, 10 out of 10. Love and recommend that. This is another palette that's no longer available. Earlier this year, Kaleidos collaborated with Angelica Nyqvist, who is actually the person who created this tag and who I saw do this tag first. But she created the Club Nebula palette. Wow, these are some beautiful duo and multi-chrome shimmers and fabulous matte shades. These 3 go very dark and deep. Oh man, I love creating looks with this palette. It's a really good one. And then for my couple of bonus palettes, because those other ones were out of stock, this has absolutely phenomenal quality. Another Glamlite palette. It's the Cake palette. I just personally prefer the Ice Cream Dream one, just based on preferences, but this is fabulous. Definitely recommend this as a rainbow palette. So, so good. Very good quality. This one's not hard to store. It's very thin. There's a very nice mirror. Definitely recommend this. And then finally, I love the Colourpop Fade into Hue palette. This is another one, a great, fantastic, amazing rainbow palette with lots of different textures. This has good glitters. I actually like using the glitter, the blue, the yellow, this pink. they're pretty good. I like that this has pastel shades as well as primary versions of the colors. I like the arrangement. This is a fabulous, fabulous rainbow palette with good quality, and it's definitely on the more affordable side because it is Colourpop. So those are my 2 bonuses. Next category are my top 3 monochromatic color schemes and slash palettes. I don't know why I just said it that way, but number 1, I have the old packaging, but this is still available. I love the Dose of Colors palettes. These are, I have the Marvelous Mauves, which is an all matte palette, and it's so beautiful. It gives you, there's so much contrast. This is not quite white. It's like a super, super light mauve, purple, pinky shade. And then it just goes to cool, a little warmer, and then a very deep shade. This is fantastic quality. I also have the Blushing Berries. I don't know if this counts as a monochromatic, but it also has fabulous quality as well. I just have the old packaging, but I definitely pick the Marvelous Mauves. For this, another monochromatic mauve palette. I have green eyes, so I think mauve looks really good, but I love the Making Mauves palette from Colourpop. This is great. Again, high contrast in the monochromatic palette. It goes really deep and it's light, but more than anything, I love that there are Super Shock shadows in this palette. I love it. There isn't glitter, there's just super shock shadows and a high shine metallic. This palette rocks. I know Colourpop is very well known for the other 9-pan palettes that are more bright. This is an unsung hero in my opinion. It's really good if you like mauves. Finally, I don't know if this is a stretch or what, but it's my video, so I'm calling this a monochromatic palette. It's my favorite monochromatic palette if you'll count it as such, but it is the Milk Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette. This is a controversial, hot topic eyeshadow palette. People, you'll love it or you hate it. I love this palette. I do have to handle it with care because it will explode. I keep the plastic shield because it's like really delicate. I think these might fall out, so I'm just going to be careful with these metallic shades. This is pretty much the far shade is like the only not green shade. It's like a true yellow gold, but the rest are greens. I freaking love this palette. There's only 2 really dark matte shadows, so in my opinion, this is a fantastic companion palette, but I can create looks with just these. These these shimmers are so good that I can do one and done looks with them, and then just a little smoky liner with the mattes, and I really love this palette. It's expensive, but it's melt, so I love it. It's a good one. I believe all of these are still available, so. Next category are my top mini eyeshadow palettes. So the first ones are these little quads from Makeup Geek. I actually bought these at Target. I don't know if they still sell them at Target, but that's where I got these a couple of years ago. In the description box down below, I'm listing all of the products that I'm talking about, but I did list these shades because these are technically single eyeshadows just in like a little palette. They're magnetic, so I could take these out, but I love the arrangement, and I think these little minis are amazing quality. Makeup Geek has great quality. These 2 shimmer shades in particular are very high shine. These could have been in the monochromatic category, I guess, too, but they're great mini palettes. I really like this for the neutral browns, and of course these are very fun peachy shades, but again, these are great little quads because they're high contrast, goes from very light to very dark, and you can create a full look with these. So these are really, really handy. Love the little Makeup Geek quad that I bought, these 2 that I bought at Target. Okay, next up, I'm gonna keep it also pretty drugstore here. Again, another, like, people seem to love these or hate these, but the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes, I don't think they're all created equally because I have a few, and I will say that I really think that Truffles, this one, is really great quality. This is another very perfect little companion palette with these neutral shades, and then this very high quality, high shine, buttery silver shimmer. And then I also like the hot jalapeno little dude. This is good. These are great buttery shimmer and great depth in these mattes. I really liked playing with these. However, I will say I also have the Acai, which is the blue one, and I do not think this is that same good quality. So I think that if you're interested in purchasing one of these, one, you can wing it because they're like $2. They're really cheap. But you could also just look for some reviews online. Like, I don't think this is good, but I love these two. This neutral one and then the green one. Very good. Finally, my last favorite mini is this Natasha Denona Gold palette. This is so good. Wow, this is so good. The mattes are beautiful. They go well together. They really complement each other. This green is pretty. Just wait till I swatch them. And then this dark color is a cream to powder formula. That's the cream to powder one. Ooh, it's so rich. This is a green and brown. And then this is a very high shine, beautiful gold. Ugh, I love these shades. They're beautiful. This is a fantastic quality palette. I got it because honestly, I'm just not interested in paying $100 for the bigger Natasha Denona palettes. And if you've ever seen one of my videos before, even if this is your first one, you'll notice I love green eyeshadow. It's everywhere in my collection. I own a lot of it. So I was attracted to this, and I'm so glad I have this. I will say, I do own another mini Natasha Denona palette, and I don't feel as strongly about it. I have the mini Sunset palette, and I don't really love this one as much, but maybe it's just because it's not like my ideal color scheme. I don't know. I think the other one has better quality, but this is still good. But anyway, I definitely picked this for my favorite mini palette in my collection. We're almost through all the categories. Second to last, my top 3 affordable eyeshadow palettes. Spoiler alert, they're all from the same brand. I haven't really found that many drugstore eyeshadows that I really like. I pretty much stick to Colourpop for my affordable eyeshadows, and my 3 favorites, sorry, but 2 of them are discontinued. I also recommended those neutral palettes at the beginning that were also Colourpop, and they're pretty affordable. So these 3, they're my 3 of my all-time favorite palettes, and they're all Colourpop. They're all collaborations too. The first one that I will talk about is the Nyqvist, and that came out about a year ago. They've restocked it a couple of times. The At Forest Sight Raw Beauty Christie palette. I love this palette. These are beautiful matte shades, great formula, great, beautiful metallic shades. This is the good Colourpop formula. I love this color story because it has those rosy tones, it has yellows and greens, and it's just got it all for me. Another palette that really has it all for me and is so well loved is this from a few years back, the I Love Sarai and Colourpop collab. It's the Through My Eyes. This is probably like one of my more perfect palettes because it's so neutral, but it's also so colorful. And I love these dark matte shades, really good metallics in this palette, great mirror, it's very convenient. I've gotten so much use, and I've given this palette a lot of love over the years. Finally, my Dream Street palette, another Kathleen Lights collab. You can see, oh my gosh, look at this one. I love every shade in this palette. There is not a bad shade in this palette. This is a great neutral eyeshadow palette because it has some dark pops. Like, it has this really bright like watermelon shade, and then this really dark teal. This is a beautiful metallic. This is a super cool shade. What's it called? Kaleidoscope. Okay, it's a very buttery metallic. It looks pretty boring, but it's a duochrome, and it goes, it's not really showing up on camera, but it kind of goes from silver to pink. It's a really pretty shade. And then I keep referencing this because I'm wearing it right now, but the Sigma Enchanted palette, this rose gold shade on my lid, is one of the best rose gold shades in my collection. The other best rose gold shade is this one in this Dream Street palette. Look at that. It's beautiful. I really love this palette, and I have for years, as you can see. We're down to the final category, and these are my favorite high-end and luxury palettes. I will say that I don't have that many options for, that's not true, that's not true. I didn't have that many options for the last category, which was the affordable ones. I need to change my habits, but anyway, I have several favorite high-end and luxury palettes. The first one is one of my, this could also be a neutral palette, but it's a fave high-end palette for sure. It is the Carly Bible palette with Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is heinous packaging. It's so ugly. I don't like it at all, but this I love. It's beautiful, beautiful shades. This was the first eyeshadow palette I personally bought from ABH, and I love this quality. It's definitely very powdery formula, but very pigmented, and it's very easy to blend. I love this palette personally because I like cools and warm tones, and this has cool tones, warm tones. It's got the whole, it's very versatile. You can create bold looks, but also beautiful warm tone mattes. I love these three matte shades here. I love these cool toned shimmers, the golds, the cranberry. You can do it all with this palette, and I really, really like it. Because I got this, if you recall, the year of 2019, in the before times, ABH released a million palettes that year, and I got this Carly Bible one, and I really liked it. So right around that time, the Jackie Aina palette was also released, and I like this one even more than the Carly Bible one. It's more colorful, it goes deeper, there's way more depth. I love these shades. I really like all the shimmers. This is a great eyeshadow palette, and I really love it. So these are the only two ABH palettes that I own, but I love them and I'm very happy with them. They're such high quality. And then finally, this is an indie brand, but they're definitely in the high-end luxury price category. This is still, after all this time and all those other palettes, this is still my favorite eyeshadow palette of all time. It's the Melt Gemini palette. I love this one. Love this one. Half warms, half neutral warm tones, half grungy greens. It's perfect for me with the best black matte in the middle. I love this palette. These two shimmer shades are really pretty, and it's just such a good palette. These are very rich, incredible tones. I love Melt Cosmetics. This is my favorite palette, period, and my favorite Melt palette. I love this one. I'm curious to those watching, do you own this palette, or are you one of the people who hasn't been able to get it? I think it's more widely available now that they're in Sephora, but this and the Smoke Sessions they're great quality, and they had to make this list. All right, I completed the whole list and I did the whole tag. You have a YouTube channel, copy this tag from Angie and it's in the description box. And I also put a link to her video. If you don't have a YouTube channel, comment down below, or you don't want to make the video, comment down below. What are your top 3 in all these categories? What do you think about my selections? I love eyeshadow palettes. I could talk about this all day. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy watching it. Don't forget to also hit subscribe so that you're notified and you see the next time I upload a video. And until then, I will catch catch you in the next one. Bye. Okay. Please lay down. Thank you for the kiss. Lay down, please. Yammers. No, leave it. I need you to lay down. Oh yeah, someone wants attention. Don't. No. Leave it. No. That's not nice. No. That's why. You don't even have... It wouldn't even work. It wouldn't even work with your fur.